Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Butterflies Poison. Most likely, crossing our fingers obviously, going to finish Hideo's route fully today. The last of the bad endings. Well, I mean, we started it in the last part, and this is the conclusion, but we should get the ending. Okay. And we had some drama. We were here to have our affair with him. Everything is falling apart. We've broken this man. And, like, I have a love-hate relationship with this ending. Like, obviously there's, like, mostly it's usually a hate relationship with the bad endings because they're awful. That's why they're bad endings. And, like, the other one was good, though. You're like, it hurt. You're like, no, he died. I knew he was gonna, but I'm not prepared for it. And then we died. We just went out into the snow and froze to death. And you're like, that's actually kind of beautiful in a tragic kind of way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's tragic and awful, and I just want them to be happy, but at least they're together in the afterlife, I guess? You know, when you feel okay about it? And then this one is like, I'm not gonna lie, like, Fujita's bad ending where we married Shiba and we basically treated him like a dog was seriously messed up. But there's something sometimes, and that's one of them, where there's messed up endings you're like, I hate this because I like it and there's something wrong with me. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, no, that is not the ending I would pick as this one is the one. There are some endings in games where you're like, I actually don't, like, do I hate that ending? Yes and no. I hate it because I feel wrong that I kind of enjoyed it. It's so wrong. Everything about it is wrong, but there's something about that you're like, but it's so good. It's riveting and I'm here for it. I want endings like that, you know what I mean? Where you're like, I'm questioning myself morally. Like, what? Like, you know? But this one is where I thought that was going to be something like this. Like, oh, we're having this affair with a day. I'm like, oh, it's so wrong and it's not perfect. Where we're happy together, but there's something so like, just like, oh, sneaky and dirty and wrong about it that it felt good, you know? Or like, sometimes you just need the dark, you know, naughty endings like this where you're like, oh, that girl, we married Shiba and was like, if I marry you, I can still bone someone else on the side. And like, he hates it, but he agreed to it, and that's a little messed up. But like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you want the drama and the angst and in your bad endings. I don't want it. I don't mind it sometimes in the good ending. I hate when the good endings are like, no, but I want the good endings to be happy. If the whole route's angsty, but then we get this fluffy unicorn ending, perfectly fine with me. Like, I don't want, like, angsty and the ending is angst. No. No, that hurts. The bad ending should be angsty and like, then I get it. Then it's fine. I can separate it. But, like, I don't know, though. I don't know. I lost my train of thought totally. I'm here for the angst and the drama. But this is almost like, it's a little too angsty and drama-y because I still want us to be like, it's wrong and we're not fully happy because we can't be together the way we should be, i.e. the happy ending. But there's something so wrong and awful about this that I'm kind of into it and I like it and we still have Hideo. But like, poor Hideo is so freaking broken in this that it hurts more. Which, again, I hate because I don't want him to suffer like this. But I also love because God damn, it's making me feel awful. And that's kind of, look, there are times where games make me feel awful and I'm like, no, I hate you. You made me feel awful and I don't like it. And now I'm like, you're making me feel awful and bravo on the writing for that. Like, bravo for making me feel awful. Genius. Like, you know, I just appreciate the writing making me feel awful. It's a give and take whether some days I'm going to be like, no, I don't like you. You made me feel bad. Or I love you for making me feel like shit. Like, I guess maybe the difference is if this wasn't a bad ending, I would be like, no, I hate you. I don't like it. We need happy, fluffy unicorns and gumdrop endings. And this is like, well, this is a bad ending, so I'm okay with it. I still want him to be happy, but like, damn, it's good. Anyway, so 3 hours later, let's finish this. She loves Hideo for who he is. She truly does love him from the bottom of her heart. She takes off his glasses while raking her fingers through Hideo's soft hair. Hideo usually hates it when she takes them off, but at this stage he doesn't even put up any resistance. She gently strokes Hideo's pure face, now bare. Oh, sorry. Spacey's feelings for Hideo haven't changed one bit. She still loves him. She's not sure if it's because of her being a woman, but she handles changes in her life relatively well. After becoming Shiba's wife, he's been making love to her almost every night. It'd be a lie if she said she hasn't started to develop feelings for him, but those feelings are different from what she feels for Hideo. She can try voicing it out loud in an explanation to Hideo, but she doesn't think Hideo will be able to understand. If anything, her explanation will probably only deepen his grief. That's why Spacey's decided to accept all the hurtful words and things that Hideo does to her. I think the part that hurts too, is like, you could just tell him the truth and let him come to terms with that but you're not, because you're like, I'm trying to kind of like, I don't think it's even like you're trying to protect him. It's almost like, you feel guilty about the choice you made. Like, you were kind of backed into a corner into this choice of being like, okay, I'll lay off Hideo, let Sawako have him, and I can have him on the side, and that's going to be like a secret way that we can be together without causing problems for my family and whatever. And you could have told him about this and trusted him with that and like whatever. And maybe he would have understood where you were coming from and seen that, and maybe he would have given you other options. Maybe he fully would have been like, no, but that's stupid, let's just run away. Who cares about your family? Valid. I feel like that's where we're thinking he would have gone. But like, you not telling him, look, this is I did this because I thought it was the best for us, because her family was backing me into a corner, they were threatening me, and I did this for us because I didn't want my family to suffer, because I love you, and because she and her family are awful people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, trying to ruin us and whatever. She could absolutely throw that out there and tell him, but she's taking his hurtful words and the abuse and all of that because I think at some point you were like, I thought you think you're making the best decision. You know what I mean? I'm making the best decision for us to protect my family, whatever. She made this choice. But I think somewhere in her mind, in her heart, everything is like, I did this for my family, but I hate that I made that choice, and I don't think I should have made that choice. And the only way to alleviate your guilt is accepting those hurtful words from him instead of trying to be like, look, I did this for us, and let me explain. You know what I mean? You want him to understand, but at the same time, you're like, I'm not going to make him understand or even explain it and give him the chance to understand because I deserve these hurtful words because I made a bad choice. And instead of accepting that you're human and you were backed into a corner into making this choice that maybe isn't what you really wanted, and now you realize probably wasn't the best choice for you, you didn't have much of another one. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of, again, forced your hand. They forced you into this, like, a little bit. But as a human being, you start thinking of things. You're like, I was forced into making this decision, basically, with all the pieces of the puzzle that they were jamming together. And shit, if I had been smarter or taken a step back, I would have realized that that was bullshit and I didn't have to do that. And then you feel bad and mad at yourself for not realizing that. But like, sometimes, and I think everybody's had a situation where you have experienced that, where you have done something and you were like, I had to, you know what? Now I look back and I know I didn't have to. You know what I mean? I didn't have to make that choice, but the position I was in and the emotions and all of the factors surrounding you at that moment that were pushing you in this corner made you feel like this was the only option. And now, later on down the road, hindsight, that's why hindsight's 20/20, damn it, you know? You look back and you go, well, that was stupid, and I should never have done that, but, you know, you can't blame yourself sometimes for external factors, or even for your emotions, you know what I mean? Because sometimes in the deepest recesses of those dark emotions that you're in, you make poor decisions. You're never always going to make perfect decisions. And like, but that's the problem. She's holding herself accountable for this situation and being like, I totally should have been like, no, I'm going to take him anyway. But if you look at all the factors, like, and I feel like she's probably also thinking, if I tell Hideo all this, he's going to be like, well, that's stupid because you love me, so that's the only answer. And it's like, yeah, but like, did you tell her no? And I'm going to guess it's probably because we married Shiba or agreed to marry him and Hideo. But like, what did you do to be like, nope, not doing this? You let your family push you into this marriage. You know what I mean? So like, we both made poor decisions here. It's not fully my fault, but I'm looking back at it going, I shouldn't have done this. I'll take his blame and his anger and all of that because I should have made a better decision. Even though at the time, you felt like you only had one choice. Because they buried that other one. So it's not your fault for not seeing it buried under all the rubble they were throwing at you, So it's kind of sad and it's kind of fucked up. But you know what? I like that. I like that they put all that, and maybe I'm just reading into it and they're like, oh, we weren't even thinking that. But like, that's the vibe I get. And like, I'm here for it. I like it when it makes me feel things and I kind of can put things together as opposed to a game where you're like, this doesn't make any sense. And they're like, well, see, A plus B equals Q. And you're like, yeah, no, but that doesn't make any sense, And like, sometimes it's like you can't get other people's perspectives, and that's valid. Like, I could be misunderstanding what they're doing here, but in other games I meant. But like, here it's like, I don't know, I feel kind of where, like, how we ended up here and why we're taking his abuse instead of being like, slap, hey, I did this for us, goddammit, and explain everything and make him accept that. I mean, make him accept the truth of it, whether he wants to deal with the situation or not is a whole other thing, but like, make him realize what we went through and why we did what we did. But we're just like, nope, I'm going to take his abuse because I deserve it because I made a bad choice. Which again, not really our fault. Like, depending on all those other factors, and she even said, they were trying, like, they would have buried my family. They would have done all these horrible things, and like, you tried to do what you thought was best for everyone, including your family, and you weren't being fully selfish, But Hideo kind of wanted you to be fully selfish. And that might have been better. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish. This might have been one of those cases. Like, seriously, like, fuck your family, man. Like, everyone's dead. Your brother can handle himself. Like, well, your brother probably would have drowned himself in the river again, but like, so that sucks. But anyway. She's also decided to accept his crestfallen apologies that she knows will come in the end. That's what her love is all about. Or that too, but again, like, you're just going to give all of your love to him as much as you can in this situation and take all his abuse. Because also, he's angry, probably at himself and you, and like, it's like, I'll just take it, again, for my guilt, and also because he needs to express all of this pain and everything. Because part of what he could be feeling is also guilt in himself. Because he didn't fight back against his parents either, or fight harder to force us to be like, no, you're not marrying Shiba, we're running away. You know what I mean? But he's blaming us. We're all fucked up here. It's all sorts of fucked up, and I hate it because it hurts, but I love it because it's so brilliant. Anyway. Macy cradles Hideo's head in her hands, feeling the stormy seas of her heart calm. You're the only love in my life. She whispers those very words in the ear of her big baby of a lover. Are we going to get some frisky times here? Like, we got 3 CGs that we haven't gotten yet. Granted, we've only played 2 lines. Was that it? Was it really like 2 minutes? We could have finished this in the last part. We absolutely could have finished this in the last part. Where were the CGs? Where were the CGs in that one? Did I miss? Am I crazy? Did we miss them? Where were they? Oh, actually, we got them in the last part, those 3. Okay. Alright, I don't know why I wasn't paying attention, but... Alright. Like... Alright. You know what? We could have finished this. I'm so mad at myself right now. We could have finished the last part because it was literally 3 fucking lines. But, like, I figured there was gonna be, like, whatever. And 90% of this part, 10 out of the 15 minutes of this part is me with the hypotheses and everything. So, like, I guess it's good I ramble because this is the shortest part in existence. Oh, for fuck's sake, guys. You know what? Like, alright, look, this is the best one. This is the best out of all of our bad NCGs. It's beautiful. Like, this one's gorgeous too, not gonna lie. I mean, you know I'm not gonna edit them together. I'm seriously thinking in my head, like, maybe I should just edit them together, but, like, whatever, it is what it is. You guys know, things, every once in a while, something goes off and we have a 20-minute part. It just feels weird to me when it's only 15 minutes. It's like, hi, it's only 15 minutes, and the last part was like an hour, and we could edit them together. I could edit them together. Who knows what's gonna happen, so, you know. If you see this and it's part of the last part, then you know what happened. Like, oh, God. Anyway, yeah. We'll see how I feel when it comes to, because it's a Tuesday right now, and I edit everything on Saturday nights. That's when I do my bulk editing for everything. So we'll see how I feel about that. But how sad she looks, and he's so angry. Like, oh, it does hurt. It's so sad. But, like, I think it would have been a little more, I'm not sure how I feel, like, which way it would have been better if she were pregnant and if it was Hideo's child or not. Like, I feel like being Shiba's child makes him so much more angsty and angry because he knows that she's sleeping with someone else, and, like, he's probably trying to avoid his wife, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and, like, that's bothering him, but at the same time, like, I love this one. It's lovely. The bad ending CGs, but, like, you know, but at the same time, if it was his, that would also have been very angsty, because then he'd be like, damn it, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if Shiba was like, no, we're newlyweds, you're not leaving the house, purposely trying to get her pregnant so that, like, he wasn't going to be worried that it was someone else's. Because he knows, obviously he knows. He full on fucking knows that she's with Hideo, you know what I mean? So, like, he's more like, okay, in the first couple months of the wedding, you are staying in that, I'm keeping you, you're not allowed to leave, and, like, oh, you're pregnant now? Yeah, sure, do whatever you want. Because, like, if he was, like, letting her do whatever she wanted, knowing full well she was going out to have an affair weekly, that, like, then he'd be questioning if that was his baby or not. You know? That would be, man, I don't know. Either way is a good, like, I don't like it when babies are forced onto me in games, but this little bit, and, like, so, you know what? This, it kind of makes sense because this adds to the just turmoil that poor Hideo's feeling, and it's just, you know, I'm not begrudging it here. I hate it when it's like, it's a happy ending, and look, I have a baby. No, babies don't make everybody happy. Stop that. Don't try to force that on me. In situations like this, where it's like, this is the bad ending, and now I've had this other man's kid, and my lover is like, you know, I'm not gonna begrudge it in this case, because, like, damn, that actually adds to the angst and the stress and the turmoil and just the tragedy. It adds to the tragedy, because I think having kids is a tragedy, because I don't like kids. Like, but you know what I mean? Even if you love kids, even if you're like, I love kids, like, and, like, this adds to the turmoil, because you're like, oh shit, no, like, you're like secret lovers, and then whether the kid's his or someone else's is like, so, you're like, oh god, no, that's gonna add, you know? So, this is the time I'll accept children in my games, is, like, in the angsty, like, turmoil that makes everything a little more traumatic. Oh my god. now that we've rambled in this 20 minutes, it's probably going to be its own damn part because I'm fucking lazy. I'll forget when it comes to Saturday. I'll be like, oh shit, right. Because, like, anyway. Sometimes I hate ending routes with the bad endings because, like, they hurt, man. Hideo's hurt. Like, but these ones are so good. I feel like every single one of these bad endings has been, like, so good. You know? Like, well, you get the shorter ones, but, like, even the short ones aren't, like... And then I never saw them again, and like, sometimes when you play Otome games, the bad endings are like, oh, and then I got stabbed, and then it's done. And, like, okay, that makes sense if you got a bunch of little bad endings, and, like, you made a bunch of bad choices, you're gonna... Like, Amnesia Memories was very much stabby, thrown up. You died a lot in that. That's totally understandable. It fit the vibe. But there's sometimes where bad endings are just quick, and you're like, oh, okay. All right, well, fine. But a lot of them generally are, like, it's just bad. Like, they just end quickly, which is fine most of the time, because you're like, I don't want to spend 6 hours on a bad ending unless it's, like these. Written really well, where you're like, oh my god, it hurts! Again, this is where I like my angst. I'm seriously just thinking ahead to the end of the year when Shun no Verche comes out, and that's apparently a very angsty game. And I don't think the happy endings are very happy. It's like, this is the best ending, and it's probably gonna rip my heart out. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to it. Ever since I saw the art for that game when it was coming out in Japanese, I'm like, I love that, I want that, we're getting that, right? And so thank God that it's coming out, and I'm very excited for it, but I already know just from the little things that I've heard that, like, it's not a happy, fluffy game, it's gonna hurt, and I don't know if I like that. Even if Tempest was kind of hurty, and you're like, I don't know if I like the hurty games, but, like, damn, the art's so hot, so it is what it is. Anyway, this one at least gives me the really good angsty bad endings, and then the beautiful fluffy unicorn happy endings. That's what I want. Like, goddamn. Every game should be like this. I think this is seriously one of my favorites. So, like, seriously, again, thank you to everyone who kept voting for this one and, like, asking for this one, because it was on my radar, but again, my initial impression of the art style was like, it looks a little dated, so it's not my, like, the art style is what gets me. I usually look and I'm like, this is hot. I want to play this. They're very excited for this. And it could be a mediocre game, but the art's what gets me more than the story or anything. You know what I mean? That's my initial, I'm judging the books by their covers, okay? Like, pretty cover, I like it. Right? Pretty art, pretty boys. And this one I was like, the art's okay. I don't hate it. And now I'm so much more into it and used to it. And, like, I'm used to the art style, so I appreciate it a lot more. But it's that initial impression where you're like, okay, game sounds interesting. It's an idea. I'll play it eventually, maybe, but it's not one of my top have to plays. Like, I'm really excited to play it. You know, but then everybody wanted, I was like, all right, fine, we'll play it. I've heard some things about it. It seems pretty good. You know, even if I was still, like, iffy on the art. But once you get into it, you're like, I don't care. The art's amazing. Like, it's not the most amazing. It's not my favorite art style, but I've gotten so used to it now that, like, I appreciate it for what it is. And I just, like, I feel like my, like, the art's fine, like, thought process after playing the game is like, the art is so much better because the game, it elevates, like, the game itself just elevates the art style to, like, it may not be my favorite A+ rank, but it's gonna be pulled up to at least the B+ because the game's so goddamn good, it makes it great. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I find myself enjoying the art style a lot more because the game's so good. I feel like if the game was just, like, adequate, or like, it's an okay game, it's fine, I don't think I'd like the art style as much as I do now. You know what I mean? You gotta get into it a little. But yeah, so I'm really glad that everybody voted, because this probably would have been put off a little bit longer. We would have played other games first, and I am having the time of my life. I love this game so fucking much. So much! So, like, this is why I leave votes up to you guys sometimes. Sometimes the next game we play after this one or Amnesia is my choice. You don't get to choose it because I won't play it. So that's what we're doing, but we will eventually have a vote on the other second game, because these will both end around the same time. So, God damn, it's like August already. Is this September by the time this goes up? I don't know. It's still August, I think. I don't know. I don't think I'm far enough ahead for it to be September, but good lord. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. And oh my god, next time we get to bang our brother. Are you excited? I am so excited. I gotta wait like a week for it. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how hard I can like withhold from like getting into banging our brother and finding out he's not really our brother and the game just ruins it for me. He better be our half brother. That's all I'm saying. I need this in my life. We need to see. It's for science. We need to see what's really gonna happen when I like have a character that is actually blood related to me somehow. And I feel like a half brother is a good step, you know, to seeing like how much I hate myself for enjoying it or just hate the game for making me do it and I find it creepy. I don't know. We'll see how debaucherous we get here. But I'm very excited to find out. So, anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.